Okay, so this is 5.1 to 5.4, part B. Remember, we're breaking it up into 3 parts here. So this one is called open expressions or substitutions. So what we're doing is when you have an expression, you can substitute a value in for a variable and then solve it. So for example, we got this first one here. We got 2a squared plus 5, right? And we're going to substitute in a equals 5. So, right, so we put the 5 squared, right? Do that first. Remember, bed mass is always in play. So 5 squared, 25, times 2, 50, and then plus 5 is 55. Next one here, 3m cubed minus 7. So you're going to replace m with negative 2. Put the negative 2 in brackets because negative 2 cubed, right, is going to give us our negative 8. Again, we multiply by 3, get our negative 27 minus 7, and we get our negative 31. Part C here, we have x equals 4, and we solve for 13x minus x. So we're going to replace x with 4. So 13 times 4 minus 4. Remember, do your multiplication first. 52 minus 4, and then we get our 48. Okay, go to the next page. Let's talk about adding polynomials. So remember, polynomials have same variable raised to the same power, or exponent, sorry. So our x squared and our 2x squared. If you notice, I put circles around them. You can pick any shape you want or any color you want or do any way to help you organize your work here. And we're going to put this in descending order. And descending order is largest exponent, right? So x squared and then x and then down to a constant. So let's deal with the x squares first. So we got an x squared and a 2x, which is our 3x squared. We have a 4x and a 5x, which is our 9x. And we have a 3 and a 1, which is our 4. Right? We combine the like ones, we add our polynomials, we get that down into one final trinomial. Okay, the next one here, again, we're going to put this in descending order. So let's deal with the x squares first. So this one I used lines instead of pictures now. So here's a line under the 5x and a line under the 2x. So 5x squared and 2x squared is 7x squared. And then I have a squiggle here under the negative 3x and the negative 7x. Negative 3 minus 7x is negative 10x. And then I have double lines under the 5 and the negative 10, which gives us our negative 5. Now, that's just adding polynomials. It's pretty much collecting like terms. Now, next page, flip to it, is subtracting polynomials. And what we do for subtracting polynomials is we change them into addition questions. And we do that by doing the old additive inverse rule, which you've already learned. So 2 minus 3, right, you got to remember, is the same as 2 plus negative 3. You add the opposite. So 5, the opposite of 5 is negative 5. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. The opposite of 1.3 is negative 1.3. Right? The opposite of negative 3/4 is 3/4. Okay. The opposite of negative x squared plus x minus 3 is x squared minus x plus 3. Right? So what we did is that negative becomes a positive, that positive becomes a negative, that negative becomes a positive. Last one here, 3x plus a half x squared plus 6. All we do is we change the signs. So the positive 3x becomes negative, the positive 1/2 x squared becomes negative, the positive 6 becomes negative. So when we want to subtract two polynomials, what we do is we change them, we add the opposite. So the first trinomial, the 4x squared one, does not change at all. So we change the subtract symbol to an addition, and then all the signs within here change signs. So a positive 3x squared becomes negative 3x, positive 2x becomes negative 2x, negative 5 becomes positive 5. And then you just do adding polynomials. Again, descending order, so 4x squared plus negative 3x squared, or 4 minus 3, which is your 1x squared right there. Your negative 5x minus your 2x, or negative 5x plus negative 2x, is negative 7x. And your positive 7 plus your positive 5 is your positive 12. So what you can do is when you're subtracting polynomials, change it to the additive inverse. We'll only change the second polynomial. So add the opposite and just go through and change all the signs. Okay, so the next part of this coming up will be 5.1 to 5.4, part C.